The inner core of the Earth is made up mostly of iron and nickel. The inner core also includes some minor amounts of oxygen, sulfur, and other elements. The inner core is estimated to be around 1,500 to 2,400 kilometers in radius. About 85% of the inner core is comprised of iron, while about 10% is nickel and the remaining 4 to 5% consists of other elements. The temperature of the inner core is thought to be around 7,000 degrees Celsius. This tremendous heat causes so much pressure that iron and nickel are present in a solid state, rather than liquid. The inner core is believed to have a density of around 13 g/cm cubed. It is thought to have a pressure of approximately 3.6 million atmospheres, which is more than 360 times the atmospheric pressure at sea level. The temperature and pressure inside the inner core make it unlikely that any of the heavier elements can exist in significant quantities. The outer core and mantle both contain molten iron, but the inner core is too hot for any significant amounts of iron to exist as a liquid. This means that the inner core is comprised mostly of solid iron and nickel. Other elements, such as oxygen and sulfur, are present in smaller amounts in the inner core, likely due to solubility in iron and nickel. The temperature and pressure of the inner core means that many of the minerals and elements that make up the outer and middle layers of the Earth's mantle are unable to exist in the inner core. Because of this, much of the inner core is made up of iron and nickel, which have very high melting points. These two elements also have a very high density, which makes it difficult for lighter elements to exist in significant amounts. The inner core is also extremely hot, and at these temperatures, much of the matter present is in the form of iron and nickel atoms. This is because these two elements have the highest melting points of all of the elements that make up the Earth. The inner core is subject to tremendous pressure, which causes the grains of iron and nickel to become tightly packed together. This tight packing causes a decrease in volume, making the inner core very dense. The high pressure and temperature also make it unlikely that any other lighter elements can exist. Because of this, the inner core is mainly composed of solid iron and nickel, with minor amounts of oxygen, sulfur, and other elements also present. The pressure and temperature of the inner core mean that it is unlikely that any minerals such as silicate rocks, which make up much of the mantle and crust, are present in the inner core. The inner core does, however, contain some minor amounts of other elements due to solubility in iron and nickel. The pressure and temperature of the inner core means that it is impossible for any liquids to exist in the inner core. As such, the inner core is made up mainly of solid iron and nickel, with small amounts of other elements.